Hello again. Now, health officials at port of entries are on high alert this afternoon for any possible cholera symptoms from people who are entering the country. This comes after the outbreak of cholera that we've seen in Hammanskraal that has killed 15 people. The health department says any diarrhea must be treated as a cholera outbreak. The health department, accompanied by the World Health Organization and the NICD, held a webinar earlier today. Our reporter, Heidi Giokos, has been following that story for us. Good afternoon, Heidi. Thanks for coming on today. So you've managed to do a timeline of some sort about this whole issue as to when Hammanskraal started facing water problems, because it's been going on for quite some time.
Yes, so it was very difficult to actually manage and find the exact year that the water problems started. But if we can just have a look at one of the graphics that we compiled, it seems as though this dates back to all the way to 2004. We do know that it dates back to decades ago, if not longer, to at least a decade ago, if not longer. The Human Rights Commission reported in 2021 that for the past 16 years, Hammanskraal families had to literally not drink the water because it could have been possibly contaminated. And this all links back to the aging infrastructure at the water waste plants. In 2019, the Human Rights Commission declared the water unfit for human consumption. So, as I mentioned, this is not a new problem. We can't find the exact year, but it seems as though this has been an ongoing issue. Communities in a village in Hammanskraal have been without tap water for 12 years. Where do they get their water from? They have to fetch water in wheelbarrows, obviously possibly causing contamination of the water. We do know that year after year, areas in Hammanskraal have been without water. The water has been switched off. If we can look at, or rather turned off rather, if we look at the next part of the graphic, you can actually see that the Water and Sanitation Department had already indicated that there's a need for 9.2 billion rand to repair the infrastructure. And that was announced in 2021 with the issue from the Water and Sanitation Department dating back to 2004. So if you think about how many years ago that was, it just shows you the issue has been there for years. So the cries from the community has clearly fallen on deaf issues. As much as the city of Tshwane has come out to say it's not from the water that the cholera outbreak has come from, there's clearly been issues here dating back from 2004.
I mean, 2004 is like 19 years ago, on and off, and you were told how much money you would need. I mean, I can't describe this any other way, Heidi, except to say it smacks of huge political failure by the leaders, by the various administrations of the city of Tshwane, because as you've just showed us, and our viewers, year in and year out, this problem was helping. Now, the Department of Health, I understand, is calling for everyone now to remain on high alert. And no wonder, with such a huge problem, they don't even know where this cholera came from.
Exactly. So I think what's of concern here is that the NICD actually said today in this cholera outbreak update briefing that the Department of Health did not handle this properly. And the reason why is because people were showing signs of severe diarrhea, and they had no idea that it was cholera. The NICD says moving forward, anybody who's showing signs of severe diarrhea must be treated as though they have cholera, because the test labs take too long to come back. People then fall even more sick, more people are getting infected with cholera, and the NICD says to prevent this from happening, treat everybody as though they have cholera if they are presenting any signs such as diarrhea. And the NICD says this initially was not happening, despite the fact that the Department of Health was saying we were on the ground, we were trying to manage the situation. Before we listen to what the Director General of the Health Department had to say, we do know that the death toll remains at 15. However, we know that there could be a third province that has some kind of cholera outbreak. The department did not want to divulge which province this is, but so far it's Gauteng and the Free State. They are still testing in a third province because they are showing signs of possible cholera outbreak. So far, the department is saying it might not be water contaminated, it might be migration, because we do know that South Africa is the 15th country that is experiencing a cholera outbreak.
And there has been a lot of cholera in Southern Africa, especially after Cyclone Freddy, in places like Mozambique and Malawi.
Yes, and Malawi seems to be quite a big problem as well. So they're suspecting it could be because of that as well. But we're not entirely sure where and how this started. But let's listen to what the Director General of the department had to say.
Don't wait for lab confirmation. Treat any diarrhea as cholera outbreak from now until proven otherwise. Don't wait whether suspect, just notify non-suspects. So therefore, as Juno said, first step towards clear intervention is to suspect first. So once we've got the suspicion, take necessary steps.
Okay, apologies. That was not Buthelezi there. That's not Sandy Buthelezi, the Director General from the Health Department. So the situation in Hammanskraal continues to cause a lot of concern. Now, every case of diarrhea needs to be treated as a cholera. And we have to do that to prevent any more deaths. I mean, 15 people have died so far, and scores of others have been hospitalized. And now people have no water. They're being given bottled water by the likes of the NGO Gift of the Givers, as we saw there a short while ago from that report by Puleli Tuti Jones. Thank you very much, Heidi Giokos, for this update from that briefing.